I am delighted to be speaking today with Roberta Downey of Vinson and Elkins. Roberta was one of the incredible women with whom I spoke for my book, Breaking Ground: How Successful Women Lawyers Build Thriving Practices. Roberta is the highly respected head of international construction at V&E. She's based in London and is an admired practitioner with 30 years of experience. She's the guru in commercial real estate disputes. The construction arena, particularly in international, we know is incredibly complex, not just because of the size of the players, but with evolving technologies and global landscapes. She is known as the leader in this world of disputes. So, Roberta, thank you for joining me.
Pleasure. I'm trying to live up to your introduction now.
Tell us, you are known as a great business developer, as well as someone who is just terrific with clients. How did you develop your skills as a rainmaker?
I think it's interesting when you start out at your career and you hear about these people who are rainmakers and you think, I can never be one of those. That's not me. Other people are much better at that sort of thing than me. So I don't think you sort of go out to set about to become a rainmaker as such, because it seems like such an unachievable goal, like winning a gold at the Olympics or whatever. But it is a bit like the Olympics. You have to train and you have to be hungry for it and have the ambition to go out there and win work, and have the energy to do it. So I think it's a combination of the hunger and the ambition, the energy to do it, and the determination to keep doing it. And then it's one step at a time. You know, it's like any sport. If you play a sport, it's each game or each practice session, rather than thinking you're going to jump from 0 to 100. I mean, it's true in life generally. And I often say to my youngest son, who worries about just about everything, it's like a game of snakes and ladders. You will get from 1 to 100. And that's what being a rainmaker is. You will become one, but it won't necessarily be a sequential step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will go up some ladders, you will fall down some snakes. And the thing to remember when you go down a snake is that there's a ladder around the corner that you can go up again. So it's the hunger, keep going forward, one step at a time. And then you sort of look back and then think, gosh, how far I've come. And I never thought that I would ever get here, but you realize you do.
That's tremendous. And you must be a great mentor for younger lawyers, I'd imagine.
Or you'd have to ask them. Some of them may think I can be quite fierce, but I mean, I try to support people and try and remember what it was like at the beginning of your career. And the world is very different from when I started out my career 33 years ago now. But the same feel of imposter syndrome and not thinking that you'll ever be able to make it, and this being scared to fail, I think that still exists. I think it's little and often, right? You've got to have the hunger to get the work. And to be honest, now I think in days gone by, certainly in the 90s and before I started in the 80s and 70s, I think you just did your time as a partner or your time as a lawyer and you became partner, and then the work just came in, or somebody would refer the job to you, or it was enough just to do the job. That world, I think, has gone in big firms. Every partner has to win their own work, and so that it's a sort of adrenaline. There's an element of fear that pushes you on and makes sure you keep going out hunting, and then there's an element of experience. So I have a bag of these fake snowballs in my room, because I say to the young ones, it's like a snowball. If you do a little bit, a bit more comes and a bit more comes, and it just grows and grows and grows. But don't think I'm going to go out as a young lawyer at 3 years qualified and win a bet the company case. That's not the way it works. But it's stepping stones and foundations. I'm a construction lawyer, so of course I have to use a construction analogy. But you don't build the house all in one go. You put in a strong foundation, training when you're young. And then when I became a new partner, I was very lucky in having a good mentor who said to me, the key to winning work is to think about your name being the last name on, we're all guilty of out of sight, out of mind, but just make sure you're the last person that they spoke to, or that your name is just front of mind. And so I then set about thinking, right, what things can I do in business development will make sure that I'm front of mind? And they range from, I think I've told you before, we do a calendar, a construction calendar. It's not as exciting as the Pirelli calendar was in the 80s. It's pictures that we get clients to give us of projects that they're on, or that they're doing, that they're particularly proud of. But that's one, that gives us an excuse to reach out to clients and ask them for photos. But two, it means that there's something that's on our desk and their desk every day of the year. And we've had these calendars even used in court when people are trying to work out what the timetable is going to be like. So a calendar was one early idea we had. A second early idea I had was to do these clinics. So every fortnight at Vinson Elkins, we do a clinic, a construction clinic. It was called in England, we called it a doctor's surgery, because in England, a doctor's surgery is like a clinic. But then our American audience said that sounded like anesthesia, and so we couldn't use that term. But basically, clients, half an hour every other Thursday, so every fortnight on a Thursday at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. in the London day, clients can email in or ask questions, and we answer them. But again, it means that every 2 weeks, Vinson Elkins' name is at the front of inboxes for clients, right? So they see you. That's what you can do if you're doing it remotely. But the best way, once you get to my stage, is to find excuses to meet people. Find excuses to meet people or be there, because people choose people that they trust and like and know. It is assumed you can do the law. And those people who sort of think, oh, well, just come to me because I can do the law. There's loads of people that can do the law. And in my area, which is disputes, if you're in trench warfare, you need to know that you like and trust the person in the trenches with you.
Absolutely. Well, this is so interesting. You've told us a little bit about trust and staying in touch with people. Do you have other philosophies about how you develop individual clients and how you cultivate them to eventually give you business?
The reality is that work comes in from the strangest sources. So I wouldn't say there's one size that fits all. No one wants to eat steak and chips every night. Well, maybe they do, but you can't afford to eat health-wise or money-wise to eat steak and chips every night. And I mean French fries when I say chips, not your crisps things. Nobody wants the same diet, right? And it's the same with your BD. There's not one form of business development that will trump others. And finding something that suits your particular style. So some people like sporting events, some people like going to conferences, some people it's writing articles, some people it's one-to-one meetings. The reality is, just like a diet, it's going to be a lot more interesting if you have a bit of everything. And there are some things that you will lean to naturally, and others. People always find it a bit surprising. I used to be very shy as a child. I still am, I think, quite a shy person. But forcing yourself to speak, and I'm quite good, people say, at public speaking and teaching. I quite like the teaching and making it entertaining when you do a seminar rather than just a boring talk. Actually putting the prep in to do a presentation, that's one. But another one, and I've done it today, just this morning, is, I'm coming to the States in May for a partners conference. And I emailed a client this morning saying I'm coming stateside. So, how about I drop in? We're going to California, and I say I'll drop in Texas, right? I do realize that Texas and California are quite a long way apart. But it's that kind of making excuses. And when I give you another story. When I was a young lawyer, we used to have a holiday home in the south of Switzerland, and in the Italian part, right on the border with Italy. And I had a client that was based in Zurich, which is in the northern part of Switzerland. It's 3 hours drive, 4 hour drive, and likewise with the train, or an hour's flight. So it's a similar sort of distance in European terms. And I said to that client, oh, look, I happen to be passing through Zurich. Maybe we can have lunch. I mean, I wasn't passing through. I drove 3 to 4 hours out of my way, and I had lunch. And then as I left their offices, I bumped into somebody else and picked up a job there. So I think finding excuses to bump into people or be with people is key.
Well, I think besides being empathetic, trustworthy, and doing an amazing job, you're a great person to interview. And Roberta, thank you so much for your time and for your patience in doing this. I know that you are one of the busiest lawyers out there. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
A pleasure.